Let's talk about the way people are deceived by the devil. And this is a fun game we can play to see if you are one of those people. Do you recognize yourself in this? I saw this post. I still believe in God, but I feel completely disconnected from Christian culture. And it's like a young woman. She yaps about stuff. You know, boy trouble. She doesn't find anybody enticing in a church for herself. But this is what I want to talk about. Christian culture often feels performative. Like everyone is trying to be the perfect marriage candidate instead of a whole vulnerable person. So what he's talking about is somebody who is real, right? So you can't find anybody who's real. This is how a woman expresses this idea, I think. Like you have to be vulnerable as a man. Kind of have to read between the lines, but she's looking for somebody who's real and authentic. And then you look at some of these leaders. Let's look at Pope Francis. Pope Francis washes feet of prisoners in traditional Holy Thursday ritual. This is something he apparently did many times. And it's about symbolizing humility. Do you notice the spell that Satan has cast here? It's this accusation. This is performative. And it's true, in a sense. That's how it is in the last days, when the accusations that somebody who is interested in the truth feel like they have to make. And that's Satan's deception that they end up under. Because once you accuse somebody, you don't understand what it's about anymore. It's like you file it away. Maybe you don't get it. Maybe you don't understand what Pope Francis is doing here that's wrong. I called him the last legitimate pope, and a pope is somebody who is a leader to people who are lost. Like a suitable leader to the lost. That's not who the Messiah Yeshua is, by the way. He's somebody who recovers the lost and makes them proper students of himself, of God. Popes are somebody who leads the lost. The reason it's a sham, it's performative, is because those feet aren't dirty. Pope Francis is washing feet that aren't dirty. And if you don't understand the significance of this, you will be thrown in the lake of fire with the mark of the beast. You will be killed by the sword that comes out of his mouth when he returns. When Christ washed the feet of his disciples, they were dirty because they walked around, in the dust, in the dirt with who knows what kind of crappy sandals. They're sweaty, filthy, stinky. He washed their feet. So there was no part in them that allowed them to go, oh, he's actually doing this. He's actually here to serve us. Even in this way. This is like the lowliest form of serving somebody. You're washing their feet. That's what Christ did. He got down on his knees, I suppose, and washed them. And then there's a part where Peter is like arguing against this. No, don't do this to me. And Christ has to explain to him, no, I have to do this to you. This is what I was sent here to do. If you don't let me do this, then you're in trouble. And once Peter recognizes this, it was Peter, right? I'm going off of memory. I'm paraphrasing everything. He tells Christ to wash the head also. Like, wash my head and also my whole body, whatever. And Christ says, no, that's not dirty. The feet were dirty. So it actually does matter if there's dirt there, because it's truth. You really have to understand like the profound nature of this. This is not a stupid thing I'm doing. You are very wise in your eyes if you think what I just spoke to you about is stupid. It's a completely different type of life. One is real, where what you're doing, it has like a correspondence in reality. What Christ is doing. The feet are actually dirty. The thing I'm doing is actually service. What Pope Francis is doing here is performative. Because these inmates, they shower regularly. They have socks, they have fancy sandals, no sandals, they have fancy shoes that protect their feet from getting dirty. There probably isn't even any dirt in their courtyards. It's just for show. It's a symbol of humility. Symbols mean absolutely nothing when you detach them from reality. Then it just means, oh, you are wise in your own eyes. You're detached from reality. And that's why we have this 20-year-old girl here, wondering. Everyone's trying to be the perfect marriage candidate. This is like the lens she's looking at things through. But basically what she's saying, these people are fake. They think they're something they're not. And they aren't even real. They aren't real about themselves. Because you have leaders like Pope Francis doing these wise in your own eyes acts. Apparently this is some kind of a tradition that they have there. And they just wash each other's feet. What good does that do? That means nothing, because they're not dirty feet. They're doing the job of somebody that they're not in a time that they aren't in. What I'm doing here is washing your feet. Well, specifically I'm washing the head, because that's the thing that's dirty now. Your feet are clean. You could take showers. Why would I wash your feet? I don't care about your feet. It's your head that is messed up. And it's causing you to be blind under the spell of the devil. Where you think you can just go, oh yeah, it's performative. Let's categorize it. Let's not even understand it. And oh, we figured it out. No, you didn't. It just means you cast like this dark blanket over it. There's something wrong with that. Hide it. Out from sight. What would it look like for one of these popes, like this newly elected one, who I do not consider legitimate anymore, and you should not either. If you believe in God, you do not consider this man a legitimate pope anymore. I don't care who he is or what he does. It's over. What would it look like for him to do what Christ did? I read these two things about him. In the year 2000, Prevost allowed Father James Ray and Justian priest to reside at St. Johnstone Friary in Chicago. Ray had been suspended from public ministry since 1991 due to credible accusations of sexual abuse of minors. Although the priory was close to a Catholic elementary school, Prevost did not notify the school administration about Ray. The Augustinians noted that Ray was assigned a monitor while at St. Johnstone. Ray was moved to a different residence in 2002 when the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops adopted stricter rules for handling priests accused of abusing minors. And then I read this. I assume this is much later. I don't know. I don't really care that much about the details. While praised in Peru for supporting Venezuelan immigrants and visiting far-flung communities, the cardinal has drawn criticism of his dealings with priests accused of sexual abuse. One woman in Chiclayo, who said she and two other women were sexually abused by two priests as girls long before Cardinal Prevost was bishop, accused him of mishandling an investigation and not of stopping one of the priests from celebrating Mass. This is an example of something being very filthy and unclean and it's not being washed at all. Is this person then gonna continue what Francis did here, washing the feet, when he himself has absolutely failed to do that in any true sense? What would it look like for one of these people to do what Christ did here? Let's pause here and think about it. What would it look like? Let's learn to think like Christ. The thing that he did, which is this very lowly thing, you're washing somebody's gunk out of their feet. This really undesirable way of serving somebody. You know, you're fully committed and you're doing it out of love, obedience to the Father. What is something that this Pope person could have done? This would-be Pope. The obvious example is tell the authorities. From one lowly service to another, from washing dirty feet to snitching. That's what he could have done. If the Spirit of Christ had been in this would-be Pope, right, and to whom no special authority has been given from heaven, all his authority comes from man, that means he's responsible to man, he should have taken the evildoer to the police and snitched to the authorities, right? That's what he should have done. The evildoer's hands were dirty, right? That's what he was at least accused of. I'm assuming that he is guilty. Even if this one isn't, we know this happens in the church, so my point still stands. And this seems to be like different times that this man covered up. So I think he's probably guilty in this sense. Anyway, the hands of those people who were doing evil, wicked, were dirty, and they were never cleaned in that church, right? That goddamn church. These institutions of men. You have to clean the hands. Pretending to clean the feet then doesn't help. You have to snitch. And sometimes you actually have to cut the hands. If a person's hands tempt them and you love them, then you need to cut their hands. If you're the one who has authority over them, you have been given this authority from men. Snitching would have sufficed, I'm pretty sure, in most of these cases. From one lowly service to another. We know that the Spirit of Christ, the Holy Spirit, was not present in these men when they did cover-ups. It's impossible. Grab the priest that committed these things, that's accused of these things, by the hand, take them to the police station to confess sins. That's what you do. You bring things to the light. You don't cover them up. It reads like he didn't do that. That's what it means. When you look at Christ, you're searching for Christ, who he is as a person. You're trying to do the things that he did in your life. Why is this man on his knees washing clean feet? That's not doing what the Messiah Yeshua told him to do. It's like they haven't even thought about these things at all. And these are the people who have been elected our leaders in the spiritual sense. No wonder none of this means anything to the younger generations growing up today. It's completely detached from reality. Your symbolism is just you being a fake person. You don't stand for nothing. Instead, what's gonna happen now is this. It's this unclean priest, Pope, that's being washed by the unclean world. Like I started to see these posts immediately. Maca melts down over woke Marxist Pope who is a never Trump liberal. Imagine being this mad that the Pope is acting like a Christian. Because some idiot uttered some idiot things. They're washing this unclean Pope who did not follow Christ's commands because of the filthy, disgusting politics of the world. Like, are you seeing what I'm seeing? This is like an utter perversion of what Christ wanted for us. And this is why I say it's the last days. When I say it's the last days, it actually means something, unlike the millions of people who were trying to sell books about their moronic predictions. Look, in that case, I already love this Pope. Same, I'm considering converting from atheism to Catholic. Nobody cares about the cornerstone that the builders rejected. It's the same story, just in a different suite. The ancient Jews rejected the cornerstone, right? Now you can see Christians. They don't care about these things. They don't care about reality anymore. It's just the puppet show happening on stage. If you're gonna wash somebody's feet, make sure that they're dirty. Otherwise, you think there's gonna be a reward for you from Christ? He's the one who actually had to get down there, smell those stinky feet, and clean them. You just pretended to. And you said you are doing what he did. You hypocrite, you liar. I hate this so much. I'm so angry at God that he gave me faith. Because I'm angry at God that he gave me faith. I hate being here. I don't know how else to express it. Like, I know God is real. I see these things. I have so much faith. I hate being here. I wish it was over already. Anyway, this was my attempt at cleaning your head in a world that considers brainwashing something that's evil. It's not your feet that are dirty, it's what's in your head, it's what's in your mind, it's what's in your heart, it's what's preventing you from seeing that is filthy and unclean. It's the splinter in your eye. Anyway, I don't know. It just seems so hopeless for me to do, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I have this faith that God gave me. Thanks a lot, God, for this amazing faith.